John Boehner opposes funding for government jobs. Jobs for teachers, for cops, for firefighters. Boehner has a different plan. Tax cuts for businesses, those that shift jobs and profits overseas, saving multinational corporations $10 billion. So to China and India and Mexico, Boehner has a message. You're welcome. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Joining me now is South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn, the House Majority Whip. Congressman, good to have you back with us tonight.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Ed.
You bet. What do you make of Mr. Boehner's opening of the door about tax cuts, that he would actually vote with Democrats on this?
Well, I think they're just words. I learned a long time ago not to pay a whole lot of attention to what people say. Watch what they do. And that is the real test here. I think that what we've heard from Mr. Boehner for a long, long time now is that they've got a plan for America. I call it the 3 R's. They want to repeat, they want to reject, and they want to repeal. They want to repeal those laws that we've already put in place to close these loopholes so we can create jobs here in America. They want to reject President Obama's middle-class tax cuts. And they want to repeat the blowing up of the deficit, which is what we will do if we were to increase or extend President Bush's tax cuts. A $700 billion deficit increase. That's not what the American people want. And so I think we aren't going to let Mr. Boehner hide behind his words. We're going to shine on his actions.
Okay. Well, the president was in Cleveland just last week, made a strong pitch for tax cuts for the middle class.
Absolutely.
And I kind of sense that maybe the Republicans went home and got an earful on this vacation, this working vacation, did some polling and found out they're on the wrong side of the issue. Maybe they have to give a little bit. Is this a soft underbelly for them? What do you think?
That's exactly right. In fact, I went to Cleveland the day after the president was there. I went over to Canton, Ohio, Youngstown, Cincinnati, and I can tell you, the president's proposals are resonating throughout Ohio, and I really believe that Mr. Boehner, being a representative from Ohio, got an earful, and that's why we heard what he said on Sunday. But still, he is not giving up on extending this tax cut to the upper 2%, rather than adopting the president's tax cut, which will be for 98% of the American people, 97% of small businesses, and that's the way to go. Because Moody's report, as reported on by Bloomberg this morning, just told us what happened the last time we did this. George Santayana, you recall, told us that we failed to learn the lessons of our history, we're bound to repeat them. And we seem as if Mr. Boehner has not learned anything from what happened to our economy when we adopted the Bush plan. The economy went into the ditch. The deficit blew wide open. People lost jobs. 8 million jobs were lost. We are trying to do something to create jobs in this country, put people back to work so they can buy homes, buy automobiles, and help churn the economy, which is what we want to do. Rather than adding to people's savings, we want people of the middle income to get back into the business of purchasing.
Congressman, you say it so well. I just think the Republicans have finally found out they never have been prioritizing anything for the middle class. They've gone home, they've gotten an earful, and now they got to jump on the bandwagon in the 11th hour. The key now, I think, is going to be for the Democrats to make sure that American voters aren't hoodwinked by this, because they're going to turn right around and give the tax breaks to the corporations to outsource the jobs. Jim, good to have you back with us. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Now let's get some rapid-fire response from our panel on these stories. Newt Gingrich is feeding the worst of the Republican fringe, the birthers and Beck followers, and he slams the president as playing a con to become president. The Republican running against Nancy Pelosi has a new web video which casts the speaker as the Wicked Witch of the West, who needs a bucket of freedom thrown on her. And the imam behind the Muslim Community Center near Ground Zero says if he had to do it all over again, he wouldn't. He blames politics for all of this controversy. With us tonight, Jack Rice, criminal defense attorney, and also Ron Christie, Republican strategist. Gentlemen, good to have you with us tonight. Ron, I'll ask you first. What is the mission of Newt Gingrich? Isn't some of this rhetoric over the top?
Well, I think Newt Gingrich is a